Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena Mana Burn. This is a series where we play decks that the Magic Pro League wishes they'd have come up with, so we play them before they do, so that they can no longer claim this deck as their own. So today, we're going to be playing a wonderful little deck full of luck and coin flips. It's called I Love Drakes, because I love drakes. So we're playing Mirror March today. Mirror March is a 6-mana enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, flip a coin until you lose a flip. For each flip you won, create a token. There's a copy of that creature. Those tokens gain haste, and you get to exile them at the beginning of your next end step. So this deck's win con is revolving around being lucky. And lucky is not a word that could be used to describe me when I play Magic the Gathering. So this is going to be fun, and exactly why it goes into Mana Burn. So the reason why I'm actually putting this in kind of a Drake shell, or more of a all-in Drake's Mirror March shell anyway, is because of Arclight Phoenix. I kind of wanted to play around with this card, since it actually should get lots of Mirror March triggers. A 4-mana 3/2 that basically comes back from the graveyard to the battlefield if you cast 3 or more instants and sorceries, which Drake's typically does quite well. So it's going to come back into the battlefield after Mirror March comes down, and then trigger multiple times, hopefully. And if they die, then we get to cantrip again, bring them back, and keep Mirror Marching. So it's a repeatable source of Mirror March triggers. And we're going to need some repeatable sources of Mirror March triggers, because I'll be losing a lot of flips. But, you know, other than that, we've got our typical Drakes, which you probably all know about at the moment. It is some 0/4s, essentially. We've got Enigma Drake and Crackling Drake. They get +1/+0, which is equal to your instant and sorcery count. Crackling Drake specifically actually gets them equal to the ones in exile as well, and also draws a card. So it's basically strictly better as Enigma Drake, though not entirely, because we do actually have a 3-mana variant, which is quite useful, considering that we are not trying to defend ourselves all that much. We're basically giving up every single slot to pulling off the combo and getting Arclight Phoenix down whenever we want it. So yeah, the entire deck is mostly cantrips and little pieces of removal here and there. We got Fiery Cannonades just to deal with any go-wide strategies, because we're probably going to need that. Outside of this card, we only have Shocks to defend ourselves, so Shock's a 1-mana, 2 damage to any target kind of spell. Just pick off the early game stuff, that's all we really need to deal with. And the rest of the deck is basically cantrips. We got 4 opts. We got Charter Course and Tormenting Voice. So these cards are going to be useful for discarding Arclight Phoenix. The one that you use typically depends on whether you have an Arclight Phoenix in hand. If you have it in hand, then you want to use Tormenting Voice and discard it. Otherwise, Charter Course can draw into it and then discard it if you manage to hit it. So yeah, want to run this one primarily if we've got the Phoenix. Otherwise, Charter Course, much better. 3 copies of Radical Idea. It's just a 2-mana cantrip, but it does have Jumpstart, which means we can use it twice. Very good with Arclight Phoenix. Also, does work reasonably well with Crackling Drake as well, because even when it gets exiled from the Jumpstart, you still get the power on Crackling Drake. And we've also got Pirate's Pillage, which is a 4-mana discard a card and draw 2, similar to Tormenting Voice, but a little bit more expensive. But this one actually generates as 2 treasures, which means we can play this one on turn 4, and then on turn 5 we can play Mirror March. So we get this one down a turn early if we can Pirate's Pillage, so quite nice. The rest of the deck, it speaks for itself, to be honest. 7 islands, 7 mountains, 4 steam vents, 4 Sulphur Falls, just making sure that we got decent mana. I believe this deck is actually budget as well. Yeah, I mean, if you exclude the mana base, then we've got 4 rares and 4 mythics, and that's literally it. So as Mana Burn goes, this one's not actually too much of an investment to lose. But you gotta craft Mirror March. And that speaks for itself, really. But anyway, guys, without further ado, let's get into the games. I hope you enjoy, and let's see if we can win some coin flips. Alright, 2 tap lands. Arclight Phoenix with nothing to discard it to. And an otherwise mediocre hand. I think I'm just going to mulligan this one. You don't do it very often because 90% of the deck is cantrips, but sometimes you just are presented with the most smelliest garbage ever, and you just have to throw it away. Alright, so we're going to keep this one because we can actually cast things. And do I want the Radical Idea? I feel like discarding it's fine. Because if I'm going to use this Charter Course, I'm going to want something to discard, and Radical Idea is not that card. Crackles. Okay, well, let's just free run into an Arclight Phoenix. Alright. So that's what it feels like to be an extremely lucky Drakes player. Sunhome Stalwart. And we get some more Phoenixes. Alright. We can discard that to maximize velocity. If we really want to. So we could do like velocity twice plus another 1-drop if we find one. But I'm not in a rush to do any of that kind of stuff yet. A Danather. Alright. So it looks like some sort of budgety deck which loses to Fiery Cannonade, so pretty good. Alright. Now, do we fire off this Cannonade now? We give them the opportunity to use pump spells if they're that kind of deck. But I could also get some pre-combat value if they lead off with something like History of Benalia next turn. So I think I'll take the risk that my opponent's running pump spells, which not many people do, because it's usually a bad idea to run pump spells for exactly this reason. Opponent just goes to combat, so just get my value now. If they want to shock off my Enigma Drake, they can absolutely do that. Just Knight of Grace, yeah. I was hoping they'd fire these off pre-combat, which is incorrect, of course. And exactly why you don't do that kind of thing. Alright, let's crackle. Just dig in for cards like that. Alright. Well, swing with the Drake. We have our blockers anyway to stop them from getting in. These are all our heroic reinforcements. We're not losing too much out of the deal. Street Riot. They have trample. Okay. But they still die. And that's important. Alright, crackle. Land ain't bad. Ain't bad at all. Alright. Let's get in with Enigma Drake. I'm just going to keep 2 blockers back. I'm not trying to kill my opponent here. I'm just trying to Mirror March. So, land is nice. And just having the ability to block and kill all of their things is wonderful as well. Hello. I see you're a man of culture. Hey. Check out this culture. Mirror March. Swing for 2. Alright, we're going to take our time, chat. We're going to play this other Mirror March. Because everybody knows that losing 1 coin flip is immediately followed up by winning 17 with the second Mirror March. That's how statistics and odds and coin flips work. Ooh, Daredevil gets Charter Course. Okay. We could take Cannonade. Do you want to cast Cannonade? This is a pirate, it wouldn't die to it, right? Value? Alright. It seems like First Strike Tribal. Is that fair to say? I think that's fair to say. It's First Strike Trample Tribal. Somebody's trying to use a keyword against me. Oops, that's me. Apologies. Pirate's Pillage. Ooh. Okay. So... still gonna Mirror March. We're just killing time. Till we can kill our opponent with double Arclight Phoenix with double Mirror March triggers. Fun fact, Crackling Drake and Enigma Drake are not the same creature. So this one's not getting the benefit from the card in exile, which Daredevil ended up doing. Are we getting just some equips? I'm fine with some equips here. Yeah, okay. So they're adding creatures to the board. That's pretty good. Alright, so Arclight Phoenix gets discarded. Draw 2. Get 2 treasures. We then... Radical Idea to see if we can get... Actually don't know what we could get. Maybe the Phoenix so that we could discard it to the Velocity second time around. Enigma Drake, okay. And I think we just maximize Velocity on this one Alternatively, actually, we could just go for the win by shocking here and seeing our triggers go. Alright, combat. I've got to go quickly before my opponent concedes to all the triggers happening. Move it fast. Pretty good. It's fine. As long as we win, it's fine. Whiff on that one. Next one comes out. Double triggers. Alright. That's a win. That's a whiff. Alright. Swing. Pretty good. It's not the craziest of mirror marches, but I mean, I'll just take it. Alrighty then, a 2-lander with Chart Course, Fiery Cannonade to defend ourselves. It needs a land so that we can Enigma Drake. I have faith this Chart Course will find me one, so yeah, let's keep this one. Also, Pirate's Pillage is really nice to see as well. If we can get up to 4, it basically guarantees us getting to 6, if we live that long anyway, I guess. Alright, so against a hero deck like this, Fiery Cannonade seems like it's going to do some serious work. Because we have something in hand that we want to discard, we actually want to value the Tormenting Voice over the Charter Course. They effectively do the same thing, but this one requires you to have a card you want to discard in hand, which luckily we do. Alright, there's our land drop. We're doing it. So we've got Enigma Drake as a 1/4 next turn. There's Tajik. Suddenly my Fiery Cannonade's looking very, very sad. Because now it does literally nothing but kill Tajik, which actually might be just worthwhile anyway. Alternatively, yeah, right now we just have a 1/4, so it's kind of hard to want to do that. Let's do a stop on combat. Stop on... Yeah, I've got to do like this on their turn. Something silly like that. There we go. Stop on combat. Because I want to kill Tajik, but I don't want to give them the incentive to play a Tajik on their turn instead of this hero, as an example. Well, they just have it all. Alright, we're going to lose. We can't beat the nuts. You get this thing off. You just simply can't beat this. Down to 4, and we're just dead to basically his board and whatever's in his hand, so next game, I guess. Alrighty then, we are in. We're on the play with 3-lander, with board wipes and cantrips. Can't ask for much better than this. We need, what? Just any land, actually. This mana fixes it. So, not too bad. Land go. More mono white. Okay, mono white very popular today. Which is good, because it's very bad against our deck, for the most part. Alright, I'm just going to bottom that land, because we're probably just going to top deck one anyway. I'm not actually just, like, omnipotent, by the way. I'm just terrible at drawing good cards, so... Bad cards include lands, so I draw lots of them. Alright, Ajani's Pridemate needs to die ASAP, but our opponent is in kind of a situation where they can't grow it right now, so this shock is going to cover it just fine. So, I mean, let's do that. I guess we could... Do we want a Charter Course right now? We've already got our land drops. We just really need, like, Pirate's Pillage, Mirror March, that kind of deal. So we could do, like, Charter Course Shock. Dump plenty of these lands. I mean, yeah, we might as well. Okay. Well, kill it now. Just so they don't untap and use some life gain shenanigans. Tap land for our opponent. We get Tormenting Voice. Well, I'm just going to go and slap down a Crackling Drake. As a redraw, we kind of want to build up our instant and sorcery count in our hand as well, just in case we get some Arclight Phoenixes and things like that. Cannonade number 2 is fine. I'm not against that. Opponent with a lot of cards in their hand. They better not be the Ajani Pridemate mono white counterspell deck. Because I swear to God, I will come down with great anger with my Crackling Drake. Now I will just smoke. I will smoke the crap out of you, opponent, if you counter anything. Alright, well, Crackles. Getting in. Play Enigma Drake. See if he gets countered. Nope. Alright. Land go. Deploys. Okay. Back up to 22. Well, it's a good job that Drakes are a BS creature type and they can just 22 our opponent in the late game anyway.
I'm known for my excellence. You need to take a time out.
Do I? Why not bounce my Crackling Drake? It's clearly the correct play, opponent. Alright, cannonade the tokens out the way. Kill Teferi. With the deck in the state that it's in, I imagine they don't have many of those. But they might have some board wipes, so we're just going to play the Enigma Drake anyway. We know we're drawing one in 2 turns. So I'm just going to tend my opponent. Yeah, I really don't want to give my opponent any more time, since they are apparently the Pridemate control deck. Which is a thing now. So, yeah, we win. We got rid of their only Teferi and their hopes died. Cool. Moving on. Alright, on the draw. 2 cantrips. Ways to discard Arclight Phoenix and a way to defend ourselves. Let's take it. What's our opponent on? Woodland Stream. They're on a budget. Okay. Well, just go opt and pass. Island. Play Merfolk. Yup. Seen a fair... What the frick is this? I've seen a fair bit of Merfolk today, but I've never seen Combine Guildmage before, so allow me to read this card for a moment. Creature controls enters with a counter on it, and then you can move a counter. Yeah, sure, okay. You want to bet they never use any of that? Alright, opt. Land. I think I'll bottom the land. We got 2. We'll naturally draw them along the way. Honestly, just looking for ways to actually discard Arclight Phoenix here, which Radical Idea is the option we have, but it's not the best one. Also got to dig for our Mirror March, because then otherwise this game is completely pointless and I have 0 interest in playing it. Silvergill, reveal the same. Okay. Draw some more cards. And we will take your 2. And respond with a Radical Idea. Well, Chart Course is better than Radical Idea discarding Arclight Phoenix, so let's just go with that. Discard the Phoenix. And... tap land? Yeah, let's play tap land. It might be the case that we actually drop down Enigma Drake here just to block. They don't currently have any unblockable creatures, so it's pretty sweet for that kind of stuff. And we do need to stop hemorrhaging life. Taking 4 a turn is not acceptable. We can even do Drake plus Opt, which is not too bad. Silvergill, drawing again, revealing the same creature. This Combine Guildmage is getting a lot of value. Ooh. So we can do a lot this turn, actually. We can get our blocker down all the same. We only have to play around Spell Pierce. So we could do Shock to bait the Spell Pierce. They don't have it. Tormenting Voice, discard Arclight Phoenix. And then let's just opt, looking for a land drop. Bottom that. There's our land. Alright. 2 Arclight Phoenixes. No attacks. I'm not attacking because I'm not interested in winning. I'm interested in mirror marching. So all of my creatures are completely on defense unless they were produced via a coin flip. So I want to stress that. This deck can win perfectly fine without Mirror March. But I've got too much footage of winning without Mirror March now, so I'm literally just like hyper-focused on that combo right now. anything less is just not interesting. Alright, let's see what they can do. They've got plenty of mana. More mana than most Merfolk lists have. And they're running 2 cards that most Merfolk lists don't run as well. Let's see if they reveal a third. No, they got the Mistbinder. Okay. Got a shock for that. And, well, block, block. Cannonade is one of the best draws we could have had. So we want to be able to Cannonade plus Shock if they play a Mistbinder. So we can kill the Forerunner as well. So let's just do tap, land, go. Slow our opponent down. So I'm assuming they're going with the Mistbinder. They could go with the Biomancer first, in which case I let it resolve because I really want Mistbinder value. I want to be able to kill this thing. I think they know it as well. Okay. And I'm not going to shock unless they adapt here. Or if they do like River Herald's Boon, then I'll probably fire this off. Looks like that's... yeah, that's what they're going for. Okay. Cannonade. Resolves, gets rid of the problem card, or at least one of them, and then basically we've got, what, a 2 for 3? They play Mistbinder, but Mistbinder's lost all of its value now because there's just nothing in play. So it's Tormenting Voice, discard the Mountain. There's Mirror Match. Alright, we can win now. So let's just play Enigma Drake on defense. Pass the turn. We have enough to get the Arclight Phoenixes out of our graveyard, so 2 triggers off of the Mirror March. And finally, the Combined Guildmage comes down. So let's find out how much value this ends up getting. Because if we're disregarding the reveal value, which any Merfolk could have achieved, then this needs to put some counters on things. Or move them to places where counters don't want to go. Alright, so it actually creates an unblockable creature if it enters the battlefield. Cool story. Alright, Mirror March. And pass. Again, could hit them for 9, not going to. Alright. Here goes the Guildmage. Tapping my creature down. Damn. Okay. Well, we can shock Mistbinder just fine. Going down to 12. Oh boy. Taking the turn off to Mirror March again. Oh god, don't you dare. Scoop. Nice. I think my opponent appreciates the value in what we're doing. Sleep. Alright. Down to 5. Here we go. So, opt. Crackling Drake. Crackling Drake. Mirror March double triggers. Draw a card. Yep, discard fodder. Whiff. Second Mirror March. Whiff. Good stuff. Always unfortunate. Maximize velocity. And then do it again. Discarded the Mountain. And double Arclight Phoenix. Mirror March. Double triggers. Good game. Whiff. Oh, we got a hit. We get 1. Double triggers. Whiff. Whiff. Oh, I love Mirror March. We had Exaxes without it. 2 Mirror Marches, and we got 1 copy. 1 copy. Alright, 3 lands, many cantrips. Gonna keep it. This hand will shape into whatever we need it to be, most certainly. And no chance of us getting mana screwed, so always nice. Woodland Stream for our opponent bodes well, I guess. Steam Vent's tapped. Says to me that this is a budget deck, and therefore our odds of winning have slightly increased, I guess. Let's do Charter Course, since we don't have anything that we directly want to discard right now with Tormenting Voice. We could draw Arclight Phoenix here, which would be a good discard. And we didn't. Okay. How important is Shock? I guess it could be important if it's something like Merfolk. Let's just discard a Radical Idea. We got an extra one of those. And it just adds to the Crackling Drake power as well, to play stuff like that out. So 3 mana for our opponent into Jade Light Ranger, so it could very well just be Merfolk, and it is. Alright, let's see where they place this. If they get it to 3 toughness, we're kind of in trouble. And they do. That needs to die. Yeah, I was hoping to be able to untap and just shock it away, but the double shock is just not worth it on the Jade Light Ranger when... What in... You binned it? What's your hand if you're binning that? Good God. Alright, well, we want to keep at least 1 shock open. I think that's a given. So I think what I'm going to do is Tormenting Voice a land, I guess. We've already got the land that we need. 3 jewels as well, just means any land is good. And I want to keep as many shocks in my hand as possible, because if they go with the Merfolk Lord, we can reduce the amount of damage overall with a shock. Otherwise, I reckon I'm just going to drop down Crackling Drake or something like that. Jungle-born Pioneer. Alright. That's worth picking apart. We don't want them to go too wide. Arclight Phoenix. Okay. So we could Pirates Pillage that into the yard, have 2 mana left open, take 5. Or I could just play Crackling Drake here and have a block on Jade Light Ranger, which I much prefer. As soon as we get to about 5 mana, we can start doing like discard chains and things like that to get Arclight Phoenix into the graveyard. There's Deep Root Elite. Hopefully they don't get too much value with that. Mistbinder. Alright. Counter on the Mistbinder would be a problem. That is not a problem, though. And they're getting in with their 5/4, which we will block. Alright, and the reason we're blocking that is because we can kill these 2, discard Arclight Phoenix, and get it back to block this 3/3 token, so we're in a really good spot, honestly. So, yeah, let's do this way. Arclight Phoenix, discard. Another Arclight Phoenix. I need to double shock these guys, I think. We have the opportunity to Charter Course, get Arclight into the bin, and then shock one of them. But having either one of these in play is pretty bad. So let's just murder them before they can get any actual value out of it. And Phoenix to block. We're here to Mirror March, not to win. There's a distinction. It's a very strong thing that you've got to keep in mind when we mana burn. Got to hold back that urge to win and go closer towards the urge to meme. All right, so Charter Course. We'll discard the Arclight Phoenix here. I'm looking for Mirror March, of course. There's a pretty good chance that we'll find it. We've dug a fair chunk through our deck, and we did indeed get it. Dump Arclight Phoenix, and we got 5 mana, 1 short of the Mirror March. We could play an Enigma Drake. I think I'm happy to play the Enigma Drake, honestly, because if we go with the Mirror March, the turn after we can do Radical Idea Chains to get back 2 Arclight Phoenixes, which is double triggers on the Mirror March. And we have a blocker now for Kumena, although he can make himself unblockable if he gets another Merfolk in play, which he didn't. Funnily enough, that's unsettling. Alright, I'm getting in with the Drake. Because I'm really not sure what my opponent's doing. This looks like counter magic to me. So, in the event of protecting our meme, I have to pass the turn there. And just see if we can convince them to tap out of all that blue. I think he's just wondering whether or not he actually wants to go ahead with that attack, because we got the Arclight Phoenixes to come back. Deep-root Waters, okay. And passes. This is still negate and spell pierce. But we can play around spell pierce, which is the most common counter spell. What are we going to see from them? Looks like they maybe have something like Merfolk Trickster. Could just have negate. It's not really the worst counter spell to be running in best of one at the moment. Because even against Disdainful Stroke, not what I expected. Right, we're just going to win the old-fashioned way then, apparently. Which sucks. It's not what I'm here to do. But here we go. Threatening lethal. So we only mirror marched once, so... Even if they kill the Enigma Drake here, we can do the Arc-like chain that plays around counter spells anyway. Goes right over the top of all of their blockers, so they can't win here. Taps to draw a card. Try and find an answer to Drake. I'm assuming Merfolk Trickster's their only one, and they scoop it up. Yep, you could have lost a Mirror March, but you chose to counter it. Boo, opponent. Alrighty then, we have a pretty sketchy hand. Charter Course kind of fixes it though, so I think we can take this one. We need to work our way up to Mirror March. Charter Course should help us find that. We obviously have plenty of discard fodder for the charts anyway. So, hitting Tormenting Voices and extra Charter Courses is really not the end of the world. Cannonade against what I'm assuming is Gates is problematic though. It's pretty much a dead card. Wow, 3 of the 4 Arclight Phoenixes. Well, we're gonna need lands. I really was hoping to draw one. Ah, fantastic. Isn't this a beautiful uncastable hand? Alright. Deck full of cantrips. Opponent plays Guild Summit. I'm just about ready to scoop it up, honestly. If we don't draw a land, this game is amazingly over. Alright. Well, at least we got the Sulphur Falls, so that's a thing, I guess. Still need one more land so we can hard cast the Arclight Phoenixes. And then an extra land also means if we draw Pirate's Pillage, we can get up to Mirror March. Which I'm not entirely sure in this colour combination they can really do too much about it. I guess they could Binding or Invoke the Divine is sort of a thing. 2 Guild Summits, okay. So lots of card draw established. Hey, look at that. Beautiful. Shocking ourselves for a 3-2. Get on in, Phoenix. So we're kind of drawing our way out of this nightmare scenario that we call Magic the Gathering. Kinda is a strong word, but a word nonetheless. So I can get back all 3 of my Phoenixes if I really wanted to, using Radical Idea and Maximize Velocity. I kind of really want to use Radical Idea anyway, because I need to hit land drops for Mirror March. With... Ooh. Okay. Radical Idea, discard Arclight Phoenix. Land. Nope. Alright, we whiff again. I love whiffing. It's my favourite. Alright, pass the turn so we can just block 8 damage, because there's no point racing. Draws and draws. Yeah, we just need to set up a turn where we can do like an Arclight Phoenix chain off of Mirror March. That's basically our out in this scenario. Either that or just annoy our opponent to death with Arclight Phoenixes. Land. Land, land, land. We have 2 radical ideas that we could use to make land drops. Possibly. I was hoping to rely on my other cantrips, but that was wishful thinking. Opponent with 5 mana and doesn't know what to do with it. Oh, just discarding. Ooh, Pirate's Pillage, eh? Well, that works for me, actually. Let's do Pirate's Pillage, discard these dead cannonades. Oh, don't you dare. Okay, we're all good. Whew! Opponent scared me for a moment there. Okay, let's take another 8. Then we get down to drop down Mirror March. I thought they were going to counter my spell, and then I was just going to cry and be done with this game. But yeah, we get Mirror March down. We have a guaranteed Arclight Chain, which means 3 triggers on the Mirror March. We also have Enigma Drake as well, which is a 3/4 and could be copied many times. Possibly. Guild Summit. Okay, another one. That's quite nice for them. They get to draw 3. If they do that, it taps them out and guarantees Mirror March is going to resolve. So oh. I guess you've got counter magic. I guess that's a thing, I suppose. Fun stuff. All right. Some might call that a problem. I'm one of them. This is a problem. I'm guessing I'm just going to take another hit from Gate Colossus and then get shocked or lightning struck in the face and lose. Or expansion explosioned. Pick your poison, I'm going to lose to it. Discarding lots of lands. Alright, well we have a shock. It's a thing, I suppose. Well, YOLO. If he's got a counter spell, this wasn't a game I wanted to play anyway. If he doesn't, we have to dodge 2 damage from our opponent. If he has it, so be it. But if he doesn't, well, we could do some fun stuff. We can Enigma Drake shock, velocity. We get an Enigma Drake trigger, and we get 3 Arclight Phoenixes. So the turn is there for Mirror March to do a thing if we can live. I'm very doubtful that we can, though. We're at 2. I would say we're dead. Opponent just deciding how to do it. Oh. What is my opponent's hand? We'll probably never know. Alright, Enigma Drake. As our bait spell. It resolves. Mirror March triggers. We could kill our opponent if they don't have, like, Settle the Wreckage. We could kill our opponent. Well, that's not a good start towards killing our opponent, but I'll take 1, I guess. Alright. Then we can do maximize velocity on this Enigma Drake, giving it haste. That's 1 spell. Opponent absorbs. Couldn't care less. That is not part of my plan to care about that. Velocity, again, give it +1. Discard Cannonade. You've got another one. It's going to make it difficult to win if you're constantly countering my spells. Syncopate X2. Yep, sure. Not going to pay for that, because if we pay for that, we can't get our Phoenixes out, and Phoenixes could represent much more damage. So, shock your face. Get a 5/4 to swing in. 3 Arclight Phoenixes to trigger the Mirror Marches. Opponent's tapped out now. Whiff. Good start. Next one. A couple of Phoenixes. Okay. And the last one. Oh, a couple more Phoenixes. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? That's not too bad, right? through an absorb and a syncopate. All right. Drake's is a fun and interactive deck, right? especially with Mirror March. Just add into the rubbins. Oh, good stuff. Oh, it's took me a long time to get that footage. I swear down. Alright, well, I think I'm going to call it there on this Mana Burn episode today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. We didn't quite get the coin flip shenanigans that I really wanted to, but winning 17 coin flips in a row is kind of tedious to try. I've actually spent a long time trying to force coin flips, but I got way more fails than I did wins. I'm just not lucky enough to pilot this deck, is I think basically the conclusion I came to, and it ended up just winning with Drakes alone, because, you know, Drakes as a shell on its own is solid enough. It's kind of fallen out of favour at the moment, but I think it's still viable, at least in unranked queues at the very least. So yeah, if you wanted to knock this back a little bit and play Drakes, go for it. I just wanted to spice things up, because if I'm going to play Drakes, I'm going to do it in a stupid way. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It lets me know you're enjoying this kind of content and you want to see more of it in the future. As always, I really appreciate any kind of support you guys have. If you have any comments, leave them down in the comment section below. But other than that, guys, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.